Dave Land, who the rest of the years is the head coach at Muncie's Delta High School. And Dave, what can we expect from the North today?
Well, we want to try to control the football, both with the run and the pass. At the same time, we want to try to take advantage of what we feel we have an excellent kicking game with Kevin Mackey and Roy Swope. Both of them have done real well in practice this week as far as the kicking game, and we hope that's going to be a factor for us.
And a little bit of a bulletin, some bad news to start the game today. We've got a player for North that was listed as a starter that's now injured.
That's right. Kevin Mackey twisted his ankle here doing warm-ups today, so he won't be able to play any quarterback at all.
So you'll be doing some kicking with Mackey, but he won't be in as quarterback?
That's right. He can just kick. That's it.
Okay, and coaching for the South team is Dave Enright. Dave was at Hamilton Southeastern, but he'll start out this season at Bloomington South High School. Dave, what can we expect from South today?
Well, we hope to put the ball in the air a lot. It looks like we've got a good day for it. So 3 or 4 years ago, or 3 years to be exactly, we were down here and it rained all day long. So we're just happy that the weather turned out the way it did.
Well, good luck to you today. You heard about the news about Kevin Mackey.
I just now heard it. I didn't realize that. That's a shame. He's a good kid.
He twisted his leg coming out here in practice today, so will that change anything for you?
Not really, because Kevin and Vorm are both the same type of quarterbacks. They're both pretty good runners and option type quarterbacks, so no, it pretty much keeps our game plan the same.
Coach, good luck to you today in today's game.
Thank you, sir.
Now we have upstairs the gentleman who'll be handing the play-by-play of today's game from WWCA in Gary, a graduate of Indiana University, the play-by-play announcer Tom Higgins, and the head football coach of Andrean High School in Maryville, a graduate of the University of Nebraska where he played in the 66 Orange and the 67 Sugar Bowl as a defensive end, our color commentator Ivan Zimmer. Gentlemen?
Thank you, Keith Klein, and good afternoon, everyone. We've got a great football day here in Bloomington. Partly cloudy skies. The temperature is 86 degrees. We took the temperature on the playing surface just about 15 minutes ago, and it registered 108. It's hot, but it's a great day for football. And Coach Zimmer, what can we look for when these youngsters play for such a great cause as the Camp Riley Crippled Children?
Well, number one, Tom, I think what you just mentioned, the heat could definitely be a factor in this ball game. We also have some injuries to the North squad. They lost their starting safety, Rob Johnson from Hobart, and they just lost their the backup quarterback, Kevin Mackey from Portage. Playing in this game today is a tremendous experience for these young men, something that they'll be able to treasure the rest of their lives. They represent 1 out of 500 football players out of the state of Indiana.
It's quite a statistic. Well, we've got a great afternoon ahead. I hope you stay with us. Great football game and a lot of excitement at the 16th annual North-South All-Star football game. Now, let's go down for the introductions of the North team and the public address announcer, Chuck Crabb.
Memorial Stadium at the 16th annual Indiana North-South All-Star football game. Let's meet the rosters for both teams. First, for the North team this year. Number 3, from Northwood, it's Tim Weaver. Number 8, from Blackford, Jack Norton. Number 12, from Portage, quarterback Kevin Mackey. Number 14 at quarterback from Jay County, Dave Vormore. A defensive back, number 16 from Western, Tim DeLong. A wide receiver from Gary Wallace, number 18, Darren Brown. Number 24, a defensive back from Fort Wayne Snyder, number 24, Dieter Herron. A running back from Goshen, number 30, Ron Llewellyn. At running back from New Haven, number 32, Ed Steger. At running back from South Bend St. Joseph, number 34, Jim Reiner. A running back, number 36 from Marion, Jerry Roper. A wide receiver from Lafayette Jefferson, number 40, Joe Downing. At linebacker from Fort Wayne Bishop Luers, number 42, Ray Billingsley. Linebacker, number 44, Pat Malakowski from Valparaiso. At linebacker, number 46 from Delta, Jay Schlusher. Linebacker from Mishawaka, number 47, Rob Rogerman. Number 48 at the defensive line from Southwood, Brian Thompson. Number 50 at center, co-captain Dave Ellison, Fort Wayne Snyder. A guard, number 60 from Peru, Jeff Palmer. Number 62 at guard from South Bend, LaSalle, James Pruacker. At center from Griffin, number 64, co-captain Ed Konopowski. At tackle from Tri-County, number 70, Bob Nordyke. Defensive lineman, number 72, Mark Newhauser from Leo. From Fort Wayne Granger at tackle, Matt Pruden, number 74. Number 76 at tackle from Muncie Southside, Farrell McCreary. Number 78, defensive lineman, Dan Walker from Harrison. Number 79, a defensive lineman from Hobart, Kevin Klein. A tight end from North Judson, number 81, Mike Hall. Tight end from Elkhart Central, number 82, Matt Roddy. Number 84 from Concord at wide receiver, Roy Swope. And co-captain from Griffin, a defensive lineman, number 87, Mike White Willis. Injured and unable to play today, ladies and gentlemen, a co-captain from Hobart, defensive back, number 22, Rob Johnston. The assistant coaches for the North team this year, Don Bungie from Bremen, Mike Hawley from Fort Wayne Snyder, Russ Ramsey from North Judson, Les Thornton from Griffith, and let's greet the North head coach now from Delta, Dave Land. And now the 1982 South team. At quarterback from Evansville, Harrison, Scott Marsh, number 3. From Kenosha, wide receiver, number 8, Tim Phillips. A defensive back from Terre Haute, North Vigo, number 12, Tracy Stewart. A defensive back from Franklin Central, number 14, Todd Poole. At wide receiver, number 16, Wayne Smith from Carmel. At quarterback, co-captain, number 18, Ron Moyer from Hamilton Southeastern. Running back from North Central, Ray Wallace, number 22. At running back from Jasper, number 24, Mike Berger. At running back, number 26, Don Cosby from Madison. From Martinsville, number 30, running back Marvin Ogden. At running back from Brazil, number 32, Mike Bailey. From Batesville, linebacker, number 34, Evan Schoen. At linebacker from North Posey, number 36, Lester Seib. From Indianapolis, Ron Kelly. At defensive back, number 40, Dan Corsero. A defensive back from Castle, Newburgh, number 42, Jeff Wade. At linebacker, number 44, L.H. Bond from Hamilton Southeastern. Number 46 from Indianapolis Pike, at linebacker, Damon Ridley, co-captain. A defensive lineman from Indianapolis Marshall, number 47, Kendall Fleming. From New Albany, offensive lineman, number 48, Chris Gebhardt. Linebacker, number 50, Tony Hibbard from Brownsburg. From Indianapolis Chatard, offensive lineman, number 60, Jeff Hill. From Cecina in Indianapolis, offensive lineman, number 62, Rick Stratman. From Edgewood High School, offensive lineman, number 64, Brett Renard. Co-captain from South Spencer, Rick Denstorm, number 70, offensive lineman. From Franklin High School, offensive lineman, number 72, Andy Woods. Offensive lineman, number 74, Steve Dennis from Whiteland. A defensive lineman, co-captain, Sean Heffern, number 76 from Carmel. From Decatur Central, defensive lineman, number 77, Jesse Newkirk. From Bedford North Lawrence, defensive lineman, number 78, Chris Jones. From Bedford North Lawrence, defensive lineman, number 79, Mark Snyder. A defensive lineman from Columbus North, number 81, Phil Tremaine. From Columbus East High School, defensive lineman, number 82, Wiley Umphreys. A wide receiver from Seymour, number 84, Brad Prather. And finally, from Westfield, tight end, number 87, Chris Roberts. The assistant coaches for the South team, Carl Gengelbach from North Posey. From Madison, Jim Kazmarek. From Indianapolis Pike, Jim McGregor. From Southmont, Steve Williamson. From Hamilton Southeastern, and this next year, the new coach at Bloomington High School South here in Bloomington, please greet for the South, Dave Enright. Your officiating crew for today, the referee is Jim Tansey from Mishawaka, the field judge, Boynton Robson from Mooresville, the head linesman, T. Patterson from Evansville, the umpire, Lee Aldridge from Royal Center. Bill Etzler from Fort Wayne will be the back judge. And its back judge from Evansville, Jack Bem.
We'll get the blue and they can get the white. Okay. We just have right there.
They'll have the captain's report out there, and there are two co-captains for both the offensive and defensive unit of both teams. So, Ivan, we're going to have quite a group out there with the officials and the captains and everybody else.
Well, it's a great honor there. I see they're allowing Rob Johnson to go out even though he's out of the game. It's a tremendous honor for that young man. I know he's really disappointed. I was talking to him right before the game. He'll be going up to the University of Wisconsin, but he was really looking forward. And I was talking to the backfield coach, defensive backfield coach, and he'd been having a tremendous practice. It's a big loss for the North.
Oh, yes. He says he has 9 days to get ready to report up to Madison to be all set to go this fall. Let's go down to Keith.
Just so you'll be looking at the camera a little bit. Okay, I'm going to have you introduce yourselves. I'm Jim Tansey, your referee. And just one thing I'd like to say to both teams before we get started now. You're the captains. We expect you to control your own ball players. If we have any trouble, we'll have to step in, so we don't look for that. Okay, you're the home team blue. This is heads, this is tails. Heads and tails. I'll catch it the way it is when I move my hand off. That's the way it will be. Who's going to call for the blue? I will. Okay.
Tails. Here's the toss of the coin.
Tails it is. Right. Blue is one.
Good job.
We'll receive.
You'll receive. What goal would you like to defend?
Like we are.
Like you are. All right, gentlemen, I'd like to give each one of you a coin as a souvenir for today's ball game. Whoop, I'll get that.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. One to each of you. Good luck to both squads. Let's have a good ball game. Shake hands. We'll be ready.
I noticed that the South elected the goal, which is to our right, and they will be going into the wind, which is unique in the first period because the story last night and this morning is that they're going to really throw this ball all over the place.
I didn't quite understand either, Tom. Maybe the wind, even though it looks like it's about 7 to 12 knots down there, maybe it's not a factor. We'll have to take a look and see how that works because the punters, I feel the Swope boy, has a little better credentials. He might be a little better kicker than the South punter, so we'll have to see how that develops.
The wind has been gusting, and we were watching this flag immediately to our left, which is the north here, and at times it lays completely dead against the pole, and at other times it's not quite fully extended. So it does come at gusts up to 15 to 17 knots, as you mentioned. So the South will kick off from our right to the left as they tee it up on the 40. And kicking for the South will be Phil Tremaine from Columbus North. 6 feet tall, 245 pounds, defensive lineman. And we can pick up the receivers now, standing up, 2 men up near the 20 and 1 deep. Tim DeLong is the deep man. Keith?
Tom, you ask why they chose to receive and kick from the end they did. South's coach Dave Enright says the reason they chose that into the field, kicking into the wind, what little wind there is because that's where they've been every day that they've practiced out here. So that's the reason for the end of the field they're on.
And now we still have a short discussion down here on the sidelines as Dave Enright now directs Phil Tremaine to go back out on the field. He's adjusting his helmet. A pretty nice representation here this afternoon. As a guess, I would say at least 1,500 to 2,000 plus. And you talk about a shirt sleeve crowd. This is it. Tremaine still talking with the official. Adjust that shoe. And we're all set to go for the 16th annual North-South All-Star Football Classic. It's taken at the 20. Downing gets out to about the 30-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10, North football. They spot it back at the 29. A 9-yard return, and here's the first play from scrimmage. Dave Vollmer is the quarterback as they come out in the wishbone. Straight ahead to the fullback, and he gets up to about the 30. Jimmy Reiner from South Bend, St. Joe, 6'1", 195 pounds. Jesse Newkirk, the Decatur Central defensive lineman, is truly one of the big men, Ivan. 6'5", 280 pounds. It is 2nd down and 8 yards to go. Vollmer again on the option, pitches out. And a good gain up to the 39-yard line. With some fine blocking on the right-hand side of that line.
Yeah, the quarterback, Vollmer, read that well. You know, he's not a wishbone quarterback, and he came out there, read the end, and made a nice pitch out.
Joe Downing of Lafayette, Jeff. Downing again with the call, straight ahead. Downing's 5'10", 165 pounds.
Chris Jones, number 78.
Gets up to the 41-yard line.
It's going to be a real test for the North interior line to see if they can handle those big guys from the South, Tom. They're pretty enormous. You know, they go 310 and 280, and they're going to have a big test this afternoon. Now they're breaking the bone.
They've got a flanker to the left. Vollmer at least got back almost to the line of scrimmage, which is the 43-yard line. The game just underway, no score, 9:54 in the first period.
1 yard
So that makes it third down. And about 7 yards to go. Llewellyn split to the left. Vollmer wants to throw, and it's complete. Across the 50, down to the 48-yard line. Darren Brown from Lou Wallace, 6'2", 200-pound wide receiver. Elated on the play. They pick up another first down.
10-yard pass, first down.
It's at the 47-yard line of the South. This time Brown goes way to the left. Mike Haw, the tight end, on the right. Again, the wishbone. Llewellyn from Goshen, 5 feet, 11 inches tall, 175 pounds. And they pick up a couple of impressive yards on that.
Good, 5 yards. What you want.
Let's go down to Keith Klein.
Coach, what are you calling on this one?
This is a belly. Go, Pitt! Belly to the left, off tackle.
Fumble.
There's a fumble. And it's recovered at the 36-yard line by the South.
That's one of the difficulties you have, Tom, putting in the wishbone in 10 days. You know, it's a high-risk offense. We saw before the game that the quarterbacks were having some timing difficulties. It's tough to get your mesh points correct, and it's very difficult for boys who've never played the wishbone to come in and do it in a short time.
Chris Jones came up with that football. Chris from Bedford North Lawrence, 6'4", 310 pounds. He hasn't missed many meals since he's been here. There's the first penalty, a procedural call against the South. That moves it back to the 32. It'll make it 1st and 15. Moyer, the quarterback for the South, talks a moment with Jim Tansey, now returns to the open huddle. No score, 8 minutes 14 remaining in the first period. They work out of the eye. And he's going to go to the air. Complete up at the 38-yard line.
Well, just as we expected, Tom, they came out throwing. The Moyer was a tremendous thrower. 41 touchdown pass, I think second in the nation.
Wayne Smith from that fine Carmel football team, 5'9", 170 pounds, caught that one. So that'll make it 2nd down and about 9 yards to go. This time, Smith split the backs.
Yeah. That's it.
Moyer over the left side with Mike Berger from Jasper. Make it 3rd down and about 5. Berger incidentally set school rushing records, making the All-State team, is signed to play baseball at the University of Evansville. An All-State pick in baseball as well as football. Not bad. Moyer wants to put it up again. And that's his 2nd completion to Wayne Smith. Off at about the 47, almost 48-yard line.
Should be a first.
The South coaches before the game, Tom, were very high on the Smith ball. I guess he had excellent weeks of practice, caught a lot of balls. If you notice there, they ran a guy up the gut, and he was behind the linebacker, had a mismatch. A linebacker on a halfback. We'll have to watch him calling that play a little bit later on.
And the South gets its first down of the afternoon. At about the 47.5, almost 48-yard line, their own territory. Phil Tremaine and Tim Phillips go wide to the right. Moyers drops back. That's some good pressure. They're going to catch him back there. Dan Walker of Lafayette Harrison. 6 feet 4 inches, 200 pounds. Really put the heat on. A 10-yard loss.
Second and a half a mile.
That puts the football back at the 37-yard line. And second down. Keith?
Coach, what are you going to put in here now?
See, it's going to be, if we don't make it here, it'll be 3rd and long. We're going to go into shotgun. We're going to go into shotgun, and I want 3 curls, XYZ curl.
Are you pleased so far?
Pardon?
You pleased so far?
Well, it hasn't got far enough yet to tell that. I don't know. They jump. And a boy!
This time across the 40-yard line and up to about the 43. Mike White-Willis from Griffith making the tackle. And it's now 3rd down. The ball at the 43-yard line. And still a long way to go. About 13 or 14 yards. Let's make it 14.
It looks like they're going to be the shotgun again, Tom, and they're going to be running 3 curl patterns.
Smith came wide to the left. And from the shotgun, he wants to go to Smith.
Intercepted.
It's intercepted at the 49-yard line. Picked off by Timmy DeLong of Western. And the North takes over the football. Now let's see if we can get a look at that again on the replay. Let's make it Jay Schlusher of Delta. He ran it back 17 yards.
Okay, we're going to see the wide receivers run their curl routes, and the flank, the wing back comes out, but
there it is.
Schlusher was in excellent position to pick that up.
Right there. I misread his number. So on the play, no gain, 2nd down, 10 yards to go. The North now with the football at the 32-yard line of the South, their deepest penetration so far this afternoon. Again, the wishbone. Vormer, the quarterback. And on a straight-ahead drive to his fullback, Jim Reiner, South Bend St. Joe's.
Look at the flow of the backfield. Look for the backside back. He's curling right
Pick up about a half yard, if at all that.
Dropping, keep your head on a swivel and look for that back.
One that they ran, Kevin ran the guy out of bounds. They sent this guy off the seam, this guy in my zone, and they cut one guy across the middle, and the other guy was coming across the middle.
If he comes
Like
across
Hawley
on the backside,
explained to his defensive backs.
Weak side linebacker, you've got that right here. You just stay right there.
Vormer looking to throw again, and now running for his life. He got down to about the 29 when Damone Ridley from Indianapolis Pike, a linebacker, 6 feet tall, 189 pounds, put the stop to him. He got it down to almost the 29-yard line and down at the 30. He's injured down there. Let's go down to Keith Klein for a moment.
Jay Schlusher, Delta, turn around here for just a second. Did you know you had that ball in that interception?
Yeah.
How'd it feel?
I feel great.
Put yourself in some scoring position here. You feel pretty good now?
Yeah.
Good. Good luck. Tom?
A little bit shaken up on the play. As the trainers are out there talking with Vollmer at the 32-yard line of the South. 3 minutes and 40 seconds to go. Still the first period, no score.
Looks like we're going to have a field goal attempt here. Kevin Mackey, his ankle appears, he's walking around it okay. He's the backup quarterback. Of course, he hurt his ankle right before the game. Tim Weaver from Northwood High School by Napanee is also a quarterback, and Jack Norton out of Blackford High School is also a quarterback. I don't know how much they have got to work with the offense this week.
The ball is at the 29-yard line, and the kick will come from about the 36 and off to the left. It seemed it was partially blocked. It's up. It's good. So with 3 minutes and 40 seconds remaining, Kevin Mackey pumps it across, and the North goes ahead.
That's typical of football. You get a big play, turnover, and they were able to, convert it into some points. It's very important that they just don't, come away empty-handed at this time. Get some momentum.
So the North leads 3-0 here, the first period, with 3:40 remaining. And teeing it up will again be Kevin Mackey at the 40-yard line. Let's go to Keith Klein.
Coach Land, the first points on the board. How do you feel?
I'm not Coach Land. I'm Coach Thornton.
Coach Thornton, I'm sorry.
Very good. I thought our offense moved the ball. We had a fumble there, but we moved the ball, and the interception gave it to us in good position. Anytime we get down around that 30, we're going to kick field goal.
You were a little worried about Mackey. He kicked that field goal. It looked like it was pretty well. He hurt his leg in here today.
He sprained his ankle in pregame, and we don't know what we can do. But we're going to have to go with him at quarterback. Now we got Bomer hurt.
He's out there at kickoff too now.
Right.
Tom?
Well, their problems will come to the surface as soon as they get possession of that football once again. From the goal line, Tracy Stewart gets it up to about the 19-yard line, where he's hit by Jimmy Weaver of Northwood, defensive back, 5'10".
That was an excellent kickoff by Kevin Mackey for a bad ankle. He put it down by the goal line. More importantly, put it on forced the receiver to receive it on his left side, which is a little more difficult for most of those receivers. They're used to catching it straight on or maybe on the right side, most of them right-handed.
So it's 1st and 10. South again with the football at their own 14-yard line. Moyer from Hamilton Southeastern calling the signals, and now calls timeout for the South. He comes over to the sideline to talk a few moments with Dave Enright.
I talked to Dave Enright last night, Tom, and their general game plan is their two quarterbacks, Ron Moyer from Southeastern and Scott Marsh from Evansville, are such fine quarterbacks. They're going to call most of the plays themselves on the field. Conversely, the North is going to send in all their plays.
Let's go down to Keith again.
Dave Volmore, you're feeling pretty good okay now?
Yeah, I'm all right.
What happened?
Not real clear what happened.
You going back out, though? Good luck. Let me talk to Rob Johnson over here while I got it down here. Rob, how's that leg?
Pretty bad.
Now what?
I don't know. I just got to wait for the swelling to go down.
You're not going to get in here at all today, but you're not going to mess up your football career at college, are you?
No, it shouldn't be.
Rob, good luck. Tom, take it back.
The Moyer's back in there now. Let's see what they do. Phil Tremaine goes wide to the right, and Wayne Smith comes to the left.
Now, one critical thing, or that timeout isn't as critical as a normal game. They have 5 timeouts that they can call per half because of the heat.
Berger in motion. And Mike Maley from Brazil gets the call. Pat Malakowski of Valparaiso makes the tackle. He's got quite a contingent of Viking personnel down here this afternoon.
Kevin Klein
from
Hobart made an outstanding play on that particular play, Tom, to take out some interference to allow Malakowski to make the tackle.
So it is 2nd and 5. And again, Smith comes to the left. Moyer this time with an eye. Slot back is to the right. Mike White-Willis in on part of that tackle of Marvin Ogden of Martinsville.
Well, they tried to run a trap play that time on the tackle from the North, Mike White-Willis from Griffith, and they were unsuccessful.
Brad Prather comes in place of Tim Phillips as a wide receiver for the South. 2:01 remaining in the first period. The North leading 3-0. Fumble, and I believe it was recovered by the South, as Brad Prather recovers the football for the South, and that is indeed a lucky break.
It sure was. They crossed up the North defense a little bit there, 3rd and 5. I'm sure they were thinking pass, and he ran off tackle. It was a good run, and he coughed the ball up, and heads-up play by the young man from the South.
So that makes it 1st and 10. South's football on their own 28-yard line. Phil Tremaine goes wide to the right. Again, the eye. Moyer puts it way up, downfield for Tremaine, and it goes right over his outstretched fingers, down at the 30-yard line. We have about 1 minute and 2 seconds remaining as the clock is stopped with that incompleted forward pass. First period with the North leading 3-0 here at IU's Memorial Stadium on a very warm afternoon in Bloomington. And when isn't in the summer?
You got a defense that they're forced to play in the All-Star game of 43, Pro 43, and it is vulnerable to the deep pass, as we just saw.
Straight up the middle, up to the 46-yard line. Tim Weaver making the stop on Mike Berger, fine running back from Jasper, who picks up good yardage and gets it across the 45 to the 46-yard line, and another first down with 50 seconds showing in the first period. Jesse Newkirk, the big 280-pound lineman for the South, is really something. They've got some big people on that front line. Moyer's back from the 40. It is complete to Smith, who is hit and driven back across the 50. They'll take it at the 49-yard line. Tim DeLong from Western caught him and drove him across the 50, so they'll put it at the farthest point of advance, 49-yard line of the North, and the South is definitely on the move. It is second down with 5 yards to go, and the clock just about due to go out at the end of the first period. There it is. So at the end of the first period, the score is North 3, South nothing, and it's been a very even ball game up to this point, Ivan.
Very even. Both teams are playing well, except a few minor infractions. The boys are playing hard. I think in the last couple of plays, we've seen a little bit of the South's superiority maybe in the offensive line. I'm going to explain to the fans that the 4-3 the North is playing, their 4 down line people are the only people that can rush the passer. The linebackers are not allowed to blitz or stunt, so that takes a lot away from your defense. Even though 43 is an excellent pass defense, that's taking the blitzes away, and the stunts does hurt the North, trying to combat the South's excellent passing game.
Scott Marsh has come in. Scott from Evansville Harrison, replacing Ron Moyer at quarterback for the South. And also Tracy Stewart is in the backfield for the South. Again, Smith going far to the left. Moyer had 3 for 4 for 28 yards and a percentage of 78%. Stewart driven out of bounds by Dieter Herron of Fort Wayne Snyder. It'll be second down and about a long 5. Now, wait a minute. He's going to move it up some more. Let's make it third down and about 3-4 yards to go.
Dieter Herron, the coaches had a lot of praise for him, Tom, before the game. I can see he had excellent practices.
Scott Marsh with the I formation. Tracy Stewart Brought down by Rob Ruggerman of Mishawaka, 5 feet 10 inches tall, 185 pounds, right in the middle of that line, but he gets down to about the 46-yard line.
Rogerman made an excellent play there, Tom. He took on the blocker and defeated the block and still was, able to make the tackle. That's a sensational play that makes the coaches very happy. That young man's a National Honor Society student heading for the United States Military Academy at West Point.
So with 4th and 2, dropping back at the 15-yard line is Tim DeLong. He will be at the bottom of your screen. We may have a roughing the kicker penalty here. The ball bounces at the 26. And the punter was hit just after he kicked that football. So that might be a break for the South with a 4th and 2 situation here in the second period. There's the signal. Let's take a look at that again on the replay. He was hit by Kevin Klein of Hobart.
15-yard penalty. That was a tough break. You couldn't really see in the replay if the ball hit the ground or not, but if the ball hits the ground, the kicker becomes a runner and he can be hit. So it's difficult to tell in the monitor.
That makes it first down, 10 yards to go. South with the football at the north 31-yard line. Again, the I. Scott Marsh gets it up. Complete up at the 24-yard line and immediately knocked out of bounds. Tim Phillips by Dieter Herron. Tim made a nice catch of that football. And they take it into the 15-yard line where we pick up another first down for the South, 10 yards to go.
I think that's what we were talking about before the game, Tom, where a little play action may have frozen the linebackers, allowing Tim Phillips to get out there in the flat wide open.
This time we've got Phillips in the slot to the right as Marsh wants to throw him once more, this time to Smith. And he overthrew Wayne Smith in the corner. He just didn't have enough time on that.
Mike Howe from North Judson played that well. He had 7 interceptions during the regular season. He was academic All-State. Smart young man, played that play very well.
So it's second down, 10 yards to go. Ball still at the 15-yard line. Phillips again in a slot to the right, the I formation, with Scott Marsh at quarterback. Tracy Stewart just knocked out of bounds at the 3-yard line by Pat Malakowski of Valparaiso. And Pat saved a touchdown there. Mr. Stewart was bound and determined to put that ball across.
That was a fine run by Stewart. He showed a lot of speed. Got a nice crackback block from the wide receiver. Something we want to alert the fans to. Inside the 10-yard line, it's free game. The defense can play anything they want. So they'll be probably running a 6-5 with some man-to-man coverage.
The ball just over the 4-yard line toward the 3. And a goal-to-goal situation. And the South is on the move. Marsh again. Mike Bailey. And he gets the 6 points. Push the South ahead 6-3. Let's see if we can get another look at that. Mike Bailey scored from just about 3.5 yards out. We'll check that right after this extra point attempt. There's the kick. Poole holding. Wayne Smith gets it up, and it's good. So it's 7-3 in favor of the South, leading the North here at the 16th annual All-Star North-South football game. Let's go to Keith.
Mike Maley, a beautiful second effort to put that ball in there, put the South up on the board. How do you feel about it?
Feel all right. It feels great. A guy came up on me. I just spun off of him.
What'd you do?
He hit me and I hit him. I just spun off and kept my balance.
That little extra effort, put it in there.
Yeah.
How's the playing conditions today?
It's not bad. There's a cool breeze blowing. It ain't too bad.
They hitting pretty hard?
Yeah, they are. They're hitting real hard.
Mike, good luck to you. Tom?
Jim Weaver was trying to keep him out of that end zone on the replay, and Maley just had too much steam going from 4 yards away. So 7-3, the South leading as we get set here in the second period. The deep man for the North will be Joe Downing, standing at about the 12-yard line. Ivan, I think that temperature in the heat is going to start to show now in this second quarter. It's been awfully warm, and they've been playing 100% down there in these first two periods.
They sure have, and you know, the size of the South might start prevailing with those conditions too. That was an excellent drive.
Let's go down to Keith.
Okay, we got Scott Marsh right here. Scott, you're doing a good job out there so far. How does it feel?
Feels real good. You know, first time
Let's
back.
look over here toward the camera.
Feels real good. The first time back in a long time, and everybody feels real good about the game.
And what do you think is going to happen now? You going to stay in the air?
Oh yeah, we'll keep it up there.
Okay, Scott, good luck to you. Tom?
Darren Brown from Lew Wallace of Gary comes into the lineup, as it'll be 1st and 10 now for the North at their own 20-yard line as they call timeout.
Scott Marsh, that young man there from Evansville Harrison High School, follows a pretty famous quarterback out of Evansville who also is going Scott's going to Purdue to study business management, and that other quarterback referred to as Bob Greasy, who had a pretty good career there at Purdue and then went on, of course, to great years.
I wonder if Scott has ever been to Miami. Let's go back down to Keith.
Dave Enright, how do you feel now? You got the points on the board there. You're on the
I feel a little better. I feel a little better. That's one.
You going to stay in the air?
Oh, yeah. I don't see why not.
How about how these boys are responding so far?
Super job. We're picking up. We started a little slow, so things are picking up a little bit now. We're mixing the running and the pass a little bit better than we did first quarter. So
any strategy changes planned?
Just get more points.
Just keep going the way you're going.
Yes, sir. Yes,
boys
sir.
are playing good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Here we go. Vormer again, the quarterback, on the pitch back to Ron Llewellyn. And he's brought down by Dan Corsero from Indianapolis Roncalli High School, defensive back, 6 feet tall, 183 pounds. Almost at the line of scrimmage, maybe a loss of about a yard on the play, so let's make it 2nd down and 11.
Yeah, Tom, the strong safety and corner did a nice job not allowing that, he strung the play out.
2nd down, 11.
Joe Downing reports back into the North lineup and comes wide to the left. Vormer again with the wishbone, looking to throw, and it's to Downing at the 30, gets up to the 35, 36-yard line where he is tripped by Dan Corsero and Jeff Wade.
I think that might be something we can watch, Tom. Joe Downey did have an excellent practice at catching the ball. You notice he came wide that time, and they did go to the air, so we'll have to keep an eye on that.
They pick up a 1st down, 10 yards to go from the North's 36. There's a fumble again, and I believe the South has come up with the football. It bobbled around down there. Ron Llewellyn couldn't hang on to it. And Mark Snyder grabbed a hold of it, and it's a South ball again. So with the lead of 7-3, they've got momentum going.
Well, that was a tough break for the North, and maybe some of the areas throughout the state aren't too used to the wishbone. Again, it is a high-risk offense, and we'll see that there's another fumble.
1st and 10 from the 42.
See if the South can capitalize.
Scott Marsh, the quarterback. 1st and 10 as he bobbles the football and still wants to throw. He's finally hit down by Jay Schlusher, who intercepted one for the North in the first period, helped set up their field goal. Keith?
Okay, we have Mark Snyder down here from Bedford North Lawrence. Mark, nice pickup on that fumble. Look over here a little bit so Mom can see you. How do you feel out there?
Pretty good.
How's the weather, conditions out there? Too hot? Nice?
Yeah, that's nice.
What'd you see when you went for that ball?
Pigskin, that's all.
You saw a ball laying there and went to pick it up.
Yeah.
Nice job. How do you feel so far?
Pretty good.
Okay, thank you very much. Tom?
Scott Marsh this time with the eye. It is second down and 15. They give us to Tracy Stewart. And he goes nowhere. Mike White-Willis of Griffith making the tackle and driving the South back even further. So that makes it third down and about 15 yards to go. The ball is on the 48-yard line of the North. He's going to go to the air again. This time he has time. And it is caught down at the 10-yard line by Phil Tremaine, who takes it in for the score. From Scott Marsh from the 48-yard line. He caught that ball on the 10 and went all the way in for a 48-yard touchdown pass. Scott Marsh to Phil Tremaine. Evansville Harrison to Columbus North. And that makes it 13-3 now in favor of the South. Todd Poole will hold, and Wayne Smith will again attempt the extra point. It's up and good, so 14-3. The South in this 16th North-South All-Star game leading the North, 14-3. Keith?
Phil Tremaine, Columbus North, getting ready to go out there and kick the ball. Nice going, Phil. Tom, he had to go back out, so we'll go back up to you.
This is a point on the kickoff, Ivan. Is that the, here's the rerun.
The problem the North's having, Tom, it's showing up right there. The South has 5 offensive linemen to block 4 rushers. And the 4 rushers are doing a heck of a job, but they got a numerical disadvantage. Puts the North's backs at a tremendous disadvantage.
What I was going to say was the energy expended by Tremaine on the reception. Now he's going to kick the football. Might this have some effect on the kick, as there's really not a great deal of time while the play is resuming here. Otherwise, he doesn't have much of a chance to get his breath back. Otherwise, stalling down there while he's tying his shoe and setting the tee. Is this part of it?
I have a feeling he might be, taking a little extra time. The official not being, he's giving him a chance there to get his shoe fixed. He could force him to call a timeout. He's a young man. He's in good shape. He'll be down.
I'll tell you, they're all in good shape. All right, Joe Downing is deep at the 5, waiting for Tremaine's kick. And it takes a south bounce, and they let it roll into the end zone. Fortunately, I thought that Downing might just try a 1-yard pickup, and let's see where we go from here. But he decided valor is the better part of wisdom, or vice versa, and let it go. Keith?
I got Scott Marsh down here from Evansville Harrison. Scott, some ways that looked like one of those Hail Marys, but it was right on target.
Well, had a lot of pressure on, but just had to get it down there somehow. It didn't look real good, but still, we got a touchdown.
Doesn't make any difference if an artistic success as long as it works.
That's right.
Where are you going to be going when you get done with this game?
We're going to Purdue.
And you're looking mighty good here today.
Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay, good luck to you at Purdue. Tom?
Here's Vollmer on the give straight ahead to Ed Stager from New Haven, 5'9" running back. And he picks up 5 yards. It is second down and 5 yards. The North in their own territory at their 25. Darren Brown of Blue Wallace reports in for the North. And again, Downing goes wide to the right, and we set up in the wishbone with 6 minutes remaining in the second period. He gives to Brown. And he gets out to about the 28-yard line. They spot it at the 27 of the North. 14-3. The South leading here at IU's Memorial Stadium this afternoon. Eddie Steger comes in, and Brown comes out. Apparently Steger with the play as he talks for a moment to Vormer. And again, Downing flanks out wide to the right. On the counter, in the wishbone, they get back to the line of scrimmage, and they were lucky to get there. Steger hit by Jesse Newkirk of Decatur Central, and you might remember that for quite some time to come. Newkirk is a very big man. On the paper, it says 280 pounds.
He defeated his blocker on that play, Tom, and I think Indiana's going to get themselves a nice tackle. He's the president of his senior class also.
So at the South, dropping Tracy Stewart back at about the 35-yard line, and the ball is shanked by Ray Swope of the North, and it's blown dead on about the 46-yard line. A 24-yard kick by the North, and the South takes over. 4 minutes and 34 seconds, second period, with the South leading 14-3.
Well, I know Ray Swope is a little disappointed young man right now. He was out there booming the ball before the game, and he does have a little problem with his drop on the punt. So sometimes has a little consistency problem, but he's got tremendous legs going up to Western Michigan to play collegiate ball.
They spotted at the 46-yard line of the North. Scott Marsh will have 4 minutes and 34 seconds, possibly pick up another score before we get to the halftime here.
Well, Tom, if they do, the North's going to be in big trouble because the South's going to be able to dictate. They're going to have to break the bone almost in every play. The wishbone's a nice controlled offense, but when you get behind, especially if you're going to, if the South would score here in 2021 to be behind 17 points, a couple of scores, they couldn't come out in the true bone. They'd have to break it and probably put the ball up more than they desire.
Wayne Smith goes wide to the left. Got a slot back to the right. Brad Prather is flanked way out to the right. Marsh right over the middle, just over the outstretched hands of Mike Maley from Brazil. Almost had it in that secondary, and I think Mr. Maley would have had 6 points because he had a clear track in front of him.
He had gotten in the seam right behind the linebacker, and like I mentioned, I think this possession for the South is going to be a stern test for the North's defense. They have to hold them right here.
Marv Ogden comes into the lineup for the South. And Maley comes out. This time from the eye. Second down, 10 yards to go. And the give is to Tracy Stewart. Brought down by Jack Norton. Jack is from Blackford, a defensive back, 5'11", 160 pounds. And he picks up very important yardage down to the 31-yard line of the North.
Yeah, it's a sprint draw, Tom. They're getting them pass conscious and opening up the running lanes.
They've run the same formation, and here it comes again with Smith going wide to his left, and Brad Prather coming wide to the right and a slot back to the right. Marsh wants to throw. It was almost completed to Timmy Phillips up at the 15-yard line. Dieter Herron of Fort Wayne Snyder hit him just as that ball came in contact, and that's all it wrote. Fell harmlessly to the ground, and the clock stops at 4:02. Second down, 10 yards to go. The ball at the North 31-yard line.
Because of the way the South is spreading out their offense, they're also taking Dieter Herron, the strong safety, from away from the run support.
Pat Malakowski of Valparaiso comes in for Dan Walker of Lafayette Harrison for the North. And from the shotgun, let's see what Mr. Marsh comes up with. Intercepted down at the 18-yard line by Tim DeLong. It was intended for Brad Prather of Seymour, the wide receiver, and he just couldn't get up high enough. He's 6'2", and that ball just went through his outstretched hands, picked off by the North, and they've saved themselves on this count.
Well, they needed a break like that, and of course it hit the receiver's hands and bounced up, and Mr. DeLong made a nice play for that interception.
So the North will take over from their own 19-yard line, 1st and 10. Bowmore throws, and it is incomplete up the 28-yard line, intended for Joe Downing. Keith?
Okay, we've got Tim DeLong down here from Western, the man that just made that interception. Tim, how'd it feel?
Oh, really good. Didn't know if I could get it for seconds. The ball.
You pulled it right off his fingertips. He was a little too high for him.
Yes, he just tipped it just high enough for me to come to. I'm behind.
How are you reading their plays?
I'm set to play back in deep third and been watching for the deep ones. It's been getting burned deep.
Okay, Tim, congratulations. Tom?
His target Downing this time flanks way out to the right, and we've got a broken wishbone as Warmer rolls back to the right. Completes the pass up to the 20-yard line to Mike Hall. All right, Mike Maley. Humphreys is there for the tackle. And Wiley is from Columbus East. Roy Swoop and Jim Reiner come into the North backfield. Vormer again with the wishbone. Just over the hands of Roy Swoop of Concord, the wide receiver, and a big man too, 6'3". He had some pressure back there, and I think he just didn't have enough time to set up. Roy was moving, and he had his man beat just below us here in front of both benches. Both benches, incidentally, on the same side of the field. It is 4th and about 8 yards to go for the North. The ball is on the 21-yard line. Swope's going to kick it away. Taken at the 48 by Mike Maley. And there's a flag on the play as he gets down or up to the 43-yard line of the North. Jerry Roper made the stop for the North. And there's a flag down at the 20-yard line. There's one just over the 49-yard line and a third one at the 47-yard line. As a discussion now is taking place in North Territory.
We got to see a yellow out there. 32, Stager, excellent tackle on that. He came up and really stuck the ball carrier.
31-yard kick and a 9-yard return for the South. The clock stopped showing 2:39. The score is 14-3 in favor of the South over the North. There's the clip indication against the South. Dave Ellison, one of the co-captains, talking with Jim Tansey, the referee, at the 35-yard line. So we'll think about his options and go from there.
Oh, okay, we want the ball, Dave. Okay, we want the ball. I thought it was...
Illegal participation against the South is being signaled.
Illegal participation against the South, Ivan. That can cover a lot of sin.
A multitude. I think looks like the North's going to maintain possession.
They're going to
football.
maintain possession, take the football with a 1st and 10 because that occurred before the clip. The possession refers back to the North. They take over the ball with the penalty. It gives them 1st down, 10 yards to go at their own 36-yard line. So Mr. Vormer now comes out with his wishbone. He's got to throw it because there's not that much time remaining. There's the flag against Downing was the intended receiver, and Jeff Wade, the defensive back, came across, and we've got pass interference with the flag down there at the 50, and the clock stopped at 2:32. So there's 2 big breaks for the North as they trail 14-3 here in the second period.
Yeah, we'll see if they'll be able to capitalize here and get some points before the end of the half.
They scored first with a Mackey field goal. So with a pass interference penalty, makes it 1st and 10. Again, the North with the football now at the South 49-yard line. And Vormer and company show the wishbone, but he wants to get it up, and does. And it is complete to Darren Brown. He is hit by Dan Corsero almost immediately, but a good gain on the play to the South 43-yard line to make it 2nd and about 3. A gain of 7 on the pass. And this is that quick hurry-up offense, again intended for Brown from Lou Wallace, and incomplete, stopping the clock at 2:08.
Darren Brown from Gary Lou Wallace, excellent receiver. He's got good, excellent speed. He's going down to University of Illinois, play for Mike White, and average about 5 yards a carry on offense running the ball.
Ivan, with only 11 days practice, how can they practice a hurry-up offense, a 2-minute offense, with just so many days of practice? Complete up at the 31-yard line to Joe Downing. And he's brought down by Jeff Wade as Bond and the South rise again to the occasion and cut off what was a pretty good threat on the part of the North with 1 minute and 50 seconds remaining. Downing just couldn't hang on.
He ran an excellent in pattern, Tom, and of course was wide open, caught the ball, and it got stuck in the ribs, coughed it up. The 2-minute offense, they probably have a limited number of plays, very limited, and a second procedure they could use. They could be calling a couple plays in the huddle, knowing that they're racing against the clock.
So Scott Marsh and the South offense take over at the 23-yard line, and he's going to throw instead of sitting on that lead. It's complete to Wayne Smith. He was out of bounds at the 30, so the pass is incomplete. The North has fumbled 3 times and lost the ball 3 times.
All right, the next time,
with 1 minute and 28 seconds to go, the South leading, in possession of the football, 2nd down, 10 yards to go.
We only had 1 receiver out. Hey, is it all right to widen out a little bit too? Widen out, sure. Widen out, and as you when you start taking your steps, look to that man and see if he's running the out, just sprint to cover the out. Okay, got it. Okay, good job.
Here's Scott Marsh with the eye this time. 2nd and 10. And as he rolls to his right, he's throwing deep, intended downfield and almost caught but out of bounds to Brad Prather down at the 40-yard line, right in front of the South bench.
The South putting a tremendous amount of pressure on the defensive backs from the North because of the rules. The North's defensive line, of course, only rushing 4 people against a spread offense, and having numerical disadvantage is not putting enough pressure on the South quarterback. And just like Dave Enright said last night, he would use a sprint out or the roll out also to keep away from that rush, and he's given plenty of time for their quarterbacks.
3rd down and 10 this time. The I formation with the South in possession, their own 23. And the give is to Tracy Stewart from Terre Haute North. He's brought down by Jay Schlusher of Delta. And that makes it 4th down. And let's call it 4 yards to go. One of the things we might mention as timeout is called, Ivan, with 1 minute and 15 seconds left, is the question came up yesterday, is will they play? Will they really go all out? And you had a very astute observation on that, is that you have to play because you don't want to get hurt.
Well, in athletics, if you don't go full blast, all out, most injuries occur. When someone's taking a blow because they're tired or they're not into the game totally, and that's when they get hurt, except in the freak accidents, of course.
Keith?
Tom, we have Wiley Humphreys down here from Columbus East. Wiley's going to be going to Indiana State. Wiley, how about that fumble recovery out there?
I really didn't have anything to do with it. the other 3 defensive backs made a heck of a stick on that guy. It just popped loose and he came right at me, so I was lucky.
Are you always looking for that to happen, or was it just in your line of sight?
Yeah, we've only been together for or they've only been together just a week and a half, just like us. They haven't played together as a team, you know, and they haven't played since last year, just like we have, so we expected a lot of fumbles today from both teams.
Good luck to you. Tom?
Marsh's punt, partially blocked, rolling down to across the 35-yard line to about the 33, where it is finally down by the South by Tracy Stewart.
Yeah, the North had some good rush up the middle from their big people, you know, 6'6", 6'6", 6'7", and they checked up so they wouldn't get another roughing the kicker penalty, but they did influence his punt, and South got a nice bounce out of it.
And one of the things I'm surprised the South didn't do is sit on that lead. A 37-yard kick, 1st and 10 from the 33. No time at all. Chris Jones got Mr. Vormer way back on the 23, 24-yard line, and he came storming through there like the 5:15 Express. That's pretty good for a man that's 310 pounds.
I don't think Dave Enright is a very conservative person. I think that's why he didn't sit on that lead. He wants to go get some more points, and of course they can throw the football, as they've shown already today. They're again a disadvantage of the wishbone. Right now they're in a passing situation, but they got they have 2 backs in the backfield, and they can't get out into the patterns as quickly as the South is able to get their backs out.
Farrell McCreary comes into the tackle spot for the North as Bob Nordyke goes over to the sidelines. Mike Haw reports back in. And Dave Vormer, after chatting on the sidelines, returns to the huddle with Joe Downing.
Yeah, if they're going to go for something, 31 seconds left, I think we probably ought to keep our eye on number 40 there, Mr. Downing from Lafayette. Jeff does have a great set of hands.
Darren Brown comes off for the North. And Roy Swope is far to the left. Vormore. There's a flag. I think he may have gone beyond the line of scrimmage, Ivan, after he cut loose Mike Haw on the incomplete pass. The clock stopping at 26 seconds remaining.
I think that was one of those accidental pass interference. He just, bumped into a receiver while the ball was in the air. Probably wasn't even going to him. The South, playing 3 deep coverage, not wanting to get burned right now with only 26 seconds left to go in the half.
So that makes it 1st down. I thought he had crossed the line of scrimmage on the roll, and that
he was pretty close.
It was.
1st down by penalty.
So Brown comes to the left, and on the right is Downing. This is to Brown, and it is just popped away by Don Cosby. Madison got a hand up there just in time, intended for Darren Brown of Lou Wallace, fine wide receiver. And the clock stopped showing 20 seconds remaining in the 2nd period. The South leads by 11.
Yeah, Tom, that was an excellent play by Donald Cosby, who's going to the University of Louisville in the fall. Darren Brown had him beat a little bit, but he recovered and got his hand in there and knocked the ball away, which I'm sure made his defensive backfield coach very happy.
Vormore straight over the middle, and he had 2 targets down there, and it was just thrown with too much steam. Roy Swope was down there as one of the attendees, and Mike Haw, and they both crossed almost at the same angle, perpendicular to each other.
Well, both their wideouts ran what we'd call in patterns at different levels to stretch the defense vertically. And like you said, they were both wide open and went right through the hands of the up receiver, and the back receiver almost caught the ball. Tough break for the North.
Darren Brown is back in and comes to the left. It is 3rd and 10. Looking for Brown again. He had fallen down at the 43-yard line and apparently had an assist, and that's why we've got a yellow flag down there.
something we got to consider now, Tom, is 10 seconds on the clock. Of course, a penalty stopped it. They do have plenty of timeouts left. If they can get the, it's going to be doubtful unless they can complete a long pass or break a long run, which I doubt they run, to get within Kevin Mackey's range, because he does have the wind in his face coming out of the north.
Well, I understand Mackey's good to about 40 yards.
Well, on a normal day, I would think.
But we do have the wind. He would be kicking into the wind, correct. So it's at the 49-yard line of the South with that penalty. 1st and 10, 10 seconds to go. The South leading by 11.
They'd have to get the ball down about the 20 at least before he become effective, I would think.
4 more. Going deep to Swope. And there's a flag down at the 10. Swope was down there, but he was bumped at about the 11-yard line.
The fans don't like the call they're showing their eye.
The clock is stopped with 2 seconds remaining. Pass interference call against the South. Now they've had 3 successive breaks in about 27 seconds.
Well, you see the brain thrust of the North right now. Coach Land and his assistants deciding what they're going to do, if they're going to go for the 6 or whether they're going to try for the field goal. And they're calling a timeout to get a little more time to think.
The ball spotted at the 33-yard line of the South, where it'll be 1st and 10 when we resume.
Awesome. I suspect we ought to watch for a fake field goal right here.
Well, if Mackey, who was injured, could not play quarterback, his legs seem to be all right to kick, and his arm would seem to be all right to throw.
I've seen that young man play football and basketball for 3 years, and he's a tough kid. He'll give it his all in this game. I don't think his ankle sprain was that bad, but we're looking at a 50-yard field goal into the wind. I think.
And this will come from the right side of the posts, with the tee spotted at the 40-yard line. So 50 yards into the wind, with a player who was on his back, injured, while both teams were warming up prior to the game.
Yeah, he's got a tremendous leg, but I have to think there's something up.
One of those miracle cures that happen once in a lifetime, and here we are witnessing.
Of course, you look at the American flag right now. It doesn't look like it's dying.
It is absolutely flat. So from the 40, Kevin Mackey, right-footed kicker. There it goes. It's going to be short, to the right, and no good. With no time remaining on the clock, the South 14, the North 3. Let's go to Keith Klein.
Good job. Way to go, Johnny.
Coach Enright, looking real good up there, 14-3 at the end of the first half. What are you going to come out with the second half?
The pass.
You're going to keep going in the air?
Yes, sir.
You're not too disappointed with the way your boys are playing?
No.
You got Marsh doing a fine job, Berger, Cosby, also Tremaine and Humphreys are really playing a fine game. What do you see that we're not seeing?
Well, I don't understand how we got all those pass interference calls. I saw one definite over on that side of the field was a definite pass interference call. But that's the only one that I saw for sure. I don't know what to think. I think our defense is playing a super game, but I don't know about this penalty.
Is this an indication of the kind of ball you're going to be playing down here at Bloomington South?
We're going to throw it.
You're going to put it in the air?
Oh, yes.
It's going to be an exciting season. Good luck to you. I know you want to get in there. Take care. Tom, before I throw it back up to you, I want to tell you that we've got what may be a new attendance record here. At least it's better than last year. 63 to 6,400 is the estimated attendance here at this North-South All-Star game. Tom, take it away.
Interesting, Keith, because at the start of the game I said I would estimate the crowd between 1,600 and 2,000, but let me explain that. We are located about 7 stories up above IU's Memorial Stadium, and there must be at least 3,000 people underneath Ivan Zimmer and me, because we're that far out over the crowd. So that's nice to know, and it's all for a great purpose for the Camp Riley physically handicapped children. And incidentally, last Thursday both squads went and visited these youngsters, Ivan, and they really had a time, both the players and all those super special children at Camp Riley.
Tom, when I was at the University of Nebraska, they used to bring the handicapped children to before the game. That I know.
We've got some presentations to make. I know you're going to enjoy. Stay with us here.
Bill Short of WIFN in Franklin, Indiana, and it's Steve Perica of Chittard School, who is the second vice president of the Indiana Football Coaches Association, and this is being presented to him for his contributions to sports at two radio stations, one in Rensselaer and also one in Franklin. And Chuck Crabb, the field announcer, is giving some information on that right now. We'll have another award right after that, but let's pick up what Chuck is saying.
Presentation now to Bill Short of WIFN Radio Franklin, the Media Award, ladies and gentlemen.
Tom, there will be one other award being given down here. That'll be the Distinguished Service Award, which will go to Hub Etchison, who...
Etchison of Richmond, Indiana. There are many superlatives that can be used in conjunction with Hub Etchison. However, the best way to sum up Hub is to say he is Mr. Football in the state of Indiana for high schools. Hub has recently retired as head coach at Richmond High School, but he is remaining very active with the game of high school football. His accomplishments and contributions to Indiana football have been many. He was instrumental in the creation of the Indiana Football Coaches Association, establishment of the Hall of Fame, while also starting one of the largest and longest running clinics in the Midwest. Hub has helped many coaches get started in the profession and has had many of his players continue to play both college and professional football. Hub Etchison is a true gentleman and the most respected high school football coach in the state of Indiana. Hubert Hub Etchison, ladies and gentlemen, at the 45-yard line.
Tom, we have another award that's going to...
Indiana University will present this award. Brett DeVault will accept it for Bob Stevenson.
And then went on to distinguish himself during a playing career with the Chicago Bears. We have had many distinguished recipients of this award during the past years, and now we wish to recognize the 1982 recipient. Making the presentation will be Michelle Raybould, the daughter of the late Michael J. Raybould. This year's recipient of the Raybould Award is Indiana University graduate Bob Stevenson. Receiving the award for Bob Stevenson is his teammate from Evansville Rice High School and Indiana University, Brett DeVault. Bob Stevenson, 6'3", 235-pound tight end from Evansville Rice, led Indiana in receiving in 1981. In addition, he also fared well in the classroom where he gained all Big Ten academic recognition for 3 straight years.
Tom, if you can hear me up there, one of the interesting sidelights on this Raybould Award that in 1971 it went to John Andrews, in 72 Levi Mitchell. Andrews went to Indiana, Mitchell went to Iowa, in 73 went to Phil Powell of Franklin College, in 74 George Uremovich of Illinois, in 75 Clarence Bullock of Michigan State, in 76 Mike Stock of Indiana, in 77 Chubby Phillips of Illinois, in 78 Rick Ennis of Indiana, 79 Darrell Reeves of Indiana Central, and 1980 Vegas Ferguson of Notre Dame, and in 1981 Mark Herman. That's a name that we've heard out here quite some time. It's quite a distinguished group of people that we have here. And speaking of distinguished group of people, we have Joe Goodman, who is the president of the Indiana Coaches Association. Joe, one of the things that we want to find out about, and I also mentioned we got Herb Duke standing over here who's in charge of this game here for us. Tell us how you go about picking the players for this game.
Well, really, it's a long process. We have 10 regions in the state of Indiana, and we select 17 players out of each region. Then we multiply the 5 southern regions and come over to Bloomington and select the 34 players out of the south, and go to Plymouth and select 34 players out of the north. They're recommended by the coaches, voted on by the coaches, and we think it really showcases Indiana football by giving us an excellent representative team.
This is also the oldest high school all-star football game in the country. That's no light distinction either.
No, it isn't. We should thank the North-South All-Star Committee and all the people here in Bloomington for the super job and the cooperation that they've given the football coaches, and really in helping us keep this game alive and for such a worthy cause at Camp Riley.
It sounds simple on paper. You just call up a few coaches, a few kids, you get them to come out. It's not that simple. It's got to be a lot of phone calls, a lot of letters. How long does it really take to line this up?
Well, we make the initial voting back in January. And then we finally in March select the team. And then by the time the game rolls around, there are so many details that take place. And fortunately, we have a lot of benevolent people who are helping us, and we try to cooperate in any way that we can to really make this an outstanding football game.
This is one exciting football game here today. What do you see as the future of this? It's going to stay in Bloomington? It's going to continue?
Oh, we certainly hope it stays in Bloomington. They've been good to us throughout these years, and we think that they just do a super job. And I think that they deserve the game here, and I think that we deserve to help them in keeping this game alive for such a worthy cause.
Stay here with us for just a second. Let's move over to this gentleman who's one of the people responsible. Move in here a little bit, Herb Dukes, and tell me about what it's like to put this all on.
Well, it's a big project, but we have so many real dedicated people here in Bloomington. This is a football town, so it's not too difficult to get some people to help us do their little bit to put on a great spectacle like we have today.
That banquet last night was virtually standing room only. You honored a lot of people and said some real nice things about the parents and coaches of these kids.
It has always been a sellout for us. It's a privilege, honor to be able to go to the banquet because a lot of people ask for it and we don't have enough tickets. And we're hoping that we can do the same thing with a football game, but I think we have a good crowd today. I think we're going to have a good football game, and our people are most appreciative of all the help.
63 to 6,400 was the estimated attendance. That's better than last year. How's it stand with all time?
That wouldn't be as good as we had last year. We had around 8,000, 8,500 last year. We may have been hurt a little bit by the Sports Festival in Indianapolis, but after all, these people come to see a good football game, and they are seeing it, and that's the most appreciative to us on the All-Star Committee and our board and our helpers.
We're very pleased on the Indiana Public Broadcasting Network to be able to be putting this game all over the state of Indiana today, too.
Well, we're certainly glad that you're doing it because we think all the coverage and all the media that can help us in this is going to help make our football game number 16, 17, 18, and 19, we hope.
Joe, I want to talk to you for just a second. There's a lot of concern about the future of high school sports with tax-based situations and things like that. You're a lobby group on behalf of sports and on behalf of coaches. What do you see as the future?
Well, of course, we think that football is a great American game. We think it's the last team game left alive, with 11 people playing on 11 people and doing 11 different things at one time. That's really an exciting thing, and that's emphasized even out here today. What's great plays that we've had in the first half of this ball game. And we think it's alive, and we think it's going to stay alive, and I'll guarantee you that our group is going to lobby to keep it alive, and not only throughout the entire state of Indiana, but this All-Star game too, because we think it's a wonderful thing for the youth of America, and we hope that it continues.
Let me ask you, coaches.
When the boys come to camp, it's a special moment, and I think that they take something with them. They visit the camp each year on a Wednesday before the game, and I think when they come back, they realize what they're really playing for, and it's for some children who can't be out on the field but sure can hold their memories of the players coming to visit them and taking time to say, hey, we care about you. It's a special moment.
Where does this money go?
This money goes to Camp Riley, and it's used to help sponsor children at camp each year. Most of the children who come to camp can't afford the cost of coming to camp, so it really supports the camperships.
Let me find out from Lois here about being nature coordinator. It's got to be a big kick for these kids to get outside and find out some of the things that they don't always get around to being handicapped.
One of the major emphases of the program that I run is being outdoors, and I encourage the counselors whenever they're there to take the kids outside. And it's a really good program for them. For once, they are outside. They're not at home.
Coach Ivan Zimmer.
Okay, Tom, we see that the North has 9 first downs to 7 for the South. That's a little misleading. The North's got some penalties. 15 rushes for 29 yards and 15 rushes for 64 yards for the South. South showing some surprising rushing ability. The North just never got on track with their wishbone. Passing as we expected. The South with 81 yards, the North 47. They had to open up towards the end and were successful. Total yards 76, 145. Shows the South is ahead. Statistics don't lie, do they? Punts, 1 for 20 and 1 for 27. Turnovers, big turnovers. 3 for the North and 1 for the South. And of course 14 to 3. We have the South has been intercepted twice, and of course the North has fumbled 3 times, twice.
And lost all 3. Let's go down to Keith Klein.
Okay, I got Coach Dave Land here. We were just talking. No adjustments you're going to make?
We didn't really make any adjustments. We just fumbled the ball 3 times and dropped some passes and had a little mixed up in our secondary coverage there the one time. Other than that, we're playing good football.
Is any of this attributable to the fact that you've only been together about 11 days?
Oh, I think that has something to do with the fumbling. You know, there's some hard hitting, and we didn't come down here and do a lot of hitting, so I'm sure that has a little bit of a problem there with it. But, and, you know, just coverage, you know, it's probably get a little hot there, and they just forget about that thing.
Okay, now when you come out here in the second half, what are you going to, same basic game plan?
We're going to do the same thing. We want to come into the ball game. We want to control the football. And, of course, when you do that, you can't fumble the ball 3 times and expect to control the football. So we just want to keep things going.
Dave Land, good luck.
Thank you.
Tom?
14-3 here as we get set for the third period, and the shadows are starting to get just a little long. Ivan?
Well, at the when South chose to kick off into the wind, we questioned that, and I think that, you know, it turned out giving the North their 3 points. I don't think Mackey could have got that field goal from that distance in there. But then conversely, in the second quarter, the South used the wind, and they were able to have 2 nice drives and score both of their touchdowns, so that sort of negates itself. The offensive line of the South seems to be doing an excellent job against the North. Of course, we explained twice about the rules of the game. The aerial show of the South, just as we expected, they're putting it up, spreading the people out all over the place, and 13 passes already in the first half, and 1 touchdown for Scott Marsh. They've been very successful because of the pass opening up the field with the sprint draw for those 64 yards, mainly coming off that play. Big plays, the interceptions and fumbles have sort of kept this game, you know, close.
So here we go. Tracy Stewart is back as one of the 2 receivers at the 5-yard line. And Dieter Heron kicks it away. They have a problem with the kickoff. And now, with the return, Pat Malakowski on the stop. Bond also there. And Maley bringing it back to 10 yards to make it 1st and 10 from the 17-yard line. South with the football.
We'll have to see how the sun affects our receivers.
Again, the eye. Moyer, the quarterback for the South. Slot formation to the left. Moyer wants to throw to his left. It is complete up at the 28-yard line to Phil Tremaine. And he gets it out to about the 33-yard line. Dieter Heron of Fort Wayne Snyder making the tackle. Tremaine on a 48-yard pass as one of the scores here this afternoon for the South. The other made by Mike Maley on a 4-yard run, and Kevin Mackey's 37-yard field goal accounts for all the scoring at the 14-3 mark. 16-yard reception. The temperatures dropped just a little bit here since we started this afternoon. 85 degrees. On the pitch out and taking it across the 35-yard line, Maley, Mike Maley of Brazil.
They put a man in motion to try to overload the right side that time, Tom, and the North defense did a nice job.
Marv Ogden reports in as Maley comes to the sideline for the South. Wayne Smith wide to the right. Phil Tremaine way to the left with a slot back to the left. And a power play off the left side. Takes it across the 40-yard line. That's Mike Berger up to about the 41-yard line to make it 3rd down and 2 yards to go.
See, again, because the way the South has spread their formations, they are taking what the 43 would be normally an 8 to 9 man protection against the run. They're only getting down to about 7 men protecting against the run.
Dan Walker comes in place of Brian Thompson in that defensive line for the North. Complete up at the 48-yard line to Phil Tremaine, and he's knocked out of bounds at the 46 of the North as the South is really starting to move. Dieter Heron of Fort Wayne Snyder making the stop on Tremaine of Columbus North.
I guess that answers our question about the sun. He was looking right back into it and made a nice grab.
Andy Woods comes in in place of Brent Renard for the South. And again, we see the eye. Moyer gives to the deep man in the eye across the 45 down to the 40. And Berger fights and drives his way down to the 35-yard line to pick up the first down for the South. Brought down by Mike White Willis of Griffith and Ray Billingsley of Fort Wayne Lures. First and 10. Ball at the 35-yard line of the North. 9 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in the third period just underway.
These young quarterbacks are doing an excellent job mixing up the play calling.
Moyer again with the eye. Throwing out first and 10, and it is intercepted at the 22-yard line by Tim Weaver of Northwood. And there's a flag on the play. He's hit by Wayne Smith of Carmel, and a flag rests at the 30-yard line. It was returned back to about the 35-yard line of the North.
Tackle made by Tim Phillips, number 8. Number 50, Tony Hibbard. We do have a penalty flag.
Tim Weaver, defensive back, 5'10", 170 pounds, 12-yard return. Maybe we can see how he picked that off here on the replay.
See, the quarterback had excellent protection. He just threw the ball behind the receiver, and Weaver was alert, picked the ball off, made some nice cuts. He had 4 interceptions during the year. All-state defensive back, academic All-state with a 3.8 grade point average, 5th in his class.
Keith?
Okay, we got Tim Weaver down here. Tim, turn around here a little bit. Tim is from Northwood. Looked like the offense went the wrong way on that, and you just happened to be right in the good spot.
Yeah, that was right there. It was pretty hard to drop that one.
How do you feel?
I feel pretty good.
What do you think about how you're playing here? What are the chances of coming back real strong?
Oh, I think we got a good chance. They just had a couple big plays, you know, the roughing the punter and then that long pass. That's about it, though.
Tim Weaver, good luck to you. Tom?
A clip on the North moved the ball back to the 15-yard line. On the first play, Dave Vormer kept it and ran it back out to about the 19 to make it second down and 6 yards to go. A pickup of 4 on the play. So second down, and this is Dave Vormer. Again, the wishbone. Ed Steger going to his left. Mark Snyder was there as part of the greeting committee.
Also there, number 26, Don Cosby.
Don Cosby of Madison. Also listed as a running back, playing some defense here this afternoon. Downing into the lineup now.
It's good to see
Third
Coach.
and 1. Downing replacing Swope in the backfield. There was a nice fake to the fullback going through first, but they only picked up a couple of yards, and that's exactly what they needed, enough to get it out to at least the 26.
A young man opening that hole.
Luella.
Number 60, Jeff Palmer, was the replacement for Ray McKayas, the All-State tackle from Lake Central, who's going to Notre Dame, who's in the hospital up in Gary. And we wish him the best.
At the 26-yard line, first and 10.
Steger is back in now. Darren Brown comes out for the North. It is first down. North with the football at their own 26. Again, the wishbone. And on the keep, the quarterback, Dave Vollmer of Jay County, was lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. L.H. Bond of Hamilton Southeastern was on him, along with Mark Snyder of Bedford North Lawrence to make the tackle. And they say there's a loss on the play. Second down and about 12 yards. Ball at the 24-yard line, just between the 24 and the 25-yard line of the North. Loss of 2. Swope going way to the left. Again, the wishbone. Former rolls to his right and wants to throw. It is picked off at the 30-yard line. It was intended for Downing, and it was picked off by Dan Corsero of Indianapolis Roncalli. I think if he would have helped, if he kept his footing, he would have been gone because there was no one between him and that end zone.
I think that you're right, Tom. That would have been 6. He waited. He read the pattern well, and he just waited to the last second, stepped right in front of the receiver. Downing had run a nice pattern. well-schooled young man.
Let's go to Keith.
Okay, I've got Dan Corsero right here from Ron Kelly High School. You read that one very, very well. You stepped right in front of your man and took it.
Well, I just saw where the ball was coming and just stepped in front. Wasn't even a big deal, really.
Oh, I thought it was a pretty good deal. You picked the ball back up for South, give you another chance to score here. Where are you going to be going to college?
Going to Notre Dame.
Good luck to you up
Thank
there.
you, sir.
And Tom, take it away.
So the South with possession of the football. It's 1st and 10. The ball resting at the North 31-yard line. It's right between the 31 and the 32. The score is 14-3 with 6 minutes and 16 seconds remaining in the third period here at the 16th annual North-South All-Star football game at Memorial Stadium in Bloomington. And as you can see, we've just got about a half inch to go before the thermometer goes through the roof. There's the pickoff.
That was a sensational play by that young man headed to Notre Dame.
In fact, I think Notre Dame and Indiana have the most members of these all-star squads coming to their respective schools in comparison. Maybe we can take a look at some of the others a little later on. All right, 1st and 10 from the 31, the I. Moyer to Mike Berger, and he's piled up by Mike White-Willis of Griffith. Berger has run rather well this afternoon, I would say.
Yes, he has. They're running that sprint draw play. Their offensive line's doing a good job.
Chris Roberts comes in and Phil Tremaine comes out. At a receiver position, Tim Phillips is in a slot to the right. This is Moyer again. And on a power play straight ahead, again, Mr. Berger is called for the play. They take that ball down to about the 23-yard line, where he's piled up by Pat Malakowski and Matt Pruden of Fort Wayne Dwenger, Malakowski of Valparaiso, and Jay Schlusher of Delta. 3rd down and about 3. 5 minutes, 10 seconds, third period, 14-3, South leading as they come out of the huddle. The ball on the North's 23-yard line. Quarterback Ron Moyer, Hamilton Southeastern, looking for the corner, and he's got it. Timmy Phillips from the right-hand side went down and in to pick up another 6 points on a 23-yard pass. Let's make a 21-yard touchdown pass from Moyer to Tim Phillips of Tecumseh, a 6-foot, 165-pound wide receiver.
We'll see this replay, Tom, where the quarterback did a great job of just lofting the ball over the defender, who was in pretty good shape, but couldn't quite reach the ball. It was a great kick.
This is Wayne Smith to kick. Poole will hold on the attempt. It's up and good. So that makes it South 20, North 3. And here's Keith.
Here's the hero of that one. This is Tim Phillips from Tecumseh. That was a beautiful catch.
Thank you.
You do many of those this year?
Yeah, a few.
They feel as good as this one?
No, not as quad.
Where are you going to be going to college?
Georgetown, Kentucky.
Good luck to you. Tom, take it away up there.
I think we have two going to Georgetown, Kentucky. Let's take a look at this replay. There's the pass right into the corner over the end zone. And it was right over the defending tactics of Dieter Herron of Fort Wayne Snyder. So the South leads 21-3 with 4:51 remaining in the third period. Again, we've got a few extra moments while the shoe is adjusted. Dan Corsero comes into the lineup for the South. And Phil Tremaine will kick off for the Southern All-Stars. Joe Downing standing at his own 11. Here's the approach, and it is taken by Downing at the 7. To the 10, 15, 20, 25. Gets a break at the 30, up to the 35, 37-yard line. before he is hit by Kendall Flemings of Indianapolis Marshall and Tony Hibbert of Brownsburg, a linebacker, on the return. So a fine return of 30 yards by Joe Downing. Let's go to Keith.
Okay, I've got Dave Enright down here. Coach, what's the strategy now? 21-3, you're getting a lot of your boys in.
Yeah, we are. They've, you know, we don't have a lot of players when you platoon here. We just lost another one, Damon Ridley, our middle linebacker. So
what happened?
Well, he's got a bump on his arm. All right! He's got a big bump right here on his arm, and they took him to the hospital to get it x-rayed. So it forced us to go with our center, to middle linebacker, L.H. Bond. And so he's playing a little bit of two ways, and we don't have very many players, so everybody's been playing. There's no problem there.
When do you do the equivalent of the victory cigar or the smile? You haven't smiled yet today.
The game's not over yet.
That's when?
That's it.
Okay, we'll be looking for it. Tom, when the game's over, we'll see a smile, but not before.
Dave Vormer caught from behind by Sean Heffern for a loss, making it 2nd down and about 13-yard lines. And now Vormer throwing deep to Downing, who went out of bounds down at the 45-yard line. The ball was overthrown. Downing was covered by Todd Poole of Franklin Central. The pass was just overthrown, making it 3rd down now and about 15 yards to go. Line of scrimmage is at the north 32-yard line.
We've got an interesting statistic here, Tom. The South defensive line averages 274 pounds per man, and the North offensive line only 236 pounds per man. So we're talking about a 38-pound per man weight giveaway for the North offensive line versus the South defensive line. So we can probably see that's part of the problem with the wishbone today.
Center Dave Ellison of Fort Wayne Snyder comes up over the football. And we're going into the air again. Mr. Vormer,
centers,
almost picked off by Downing. Whether or not that was intended for him or not, he tried to jump and pick it up, catch it, but it was just over his outstretched right hand there.
Well, we can see that Coach Land, with 3:37 to go in the 3rd quarter, down 21-3, has decided to break the, go out of the bone. They had only had one setback with twin wings, and that was supposed to be a middle screen to Downing, but it was just incomplete.
So they're going to kick it away with 4th and 15. The North at their own 32-yard line. It was shanked coming over to the right-hand side of the field and picked up at the 40 and run back to the 39-yard line by Todd Poole. He took it on the bounce and hit by Jay Schlusher, and let's see who else we've got down there, plus a flag. Ron Llewellyn, who had come in for Downing on the kicking team. So Llewellyn and Schlusher making the stop. A 28-yard kick with no return.
Had one young man with a little over-exuberance, got himself a roughing.
So with that personal foul penalty, that sets the ball at the 46-yard line of the North. It is 1st and 10 for the South. And Mike Bailey from Brazil comes into the backfield for the South. Tremaine going out to the right. In the slot to the right is Timmy Phillips. Let's see what Moyer's done this time. Berger in motion. The pitch out to Maley. And he can't turn the corner at the 50-yard line. And he was really struck down over there by Dieter Heron, who's playing one whale of a defensive football game. This young man from Fort Wayne Snyder is a defensive back listed at 6'3" and 190 pounds.
He's been a busy young man, Tom. He's playing strong safety, and of course the South been running in different receivers, and they've been running him all over the field. He's had quite the busy afternoon.
Mark Newhauser comes in at the defensive line spot on the right side for Farrell McCurry. Again the eye. Nice hold up front on the left-hand side to get that ball down across the 45 to the 43-yard line. Dan Walker of Lafayette Harrison making the stop, and the officials call timeout. I think we've got somebody shaken up down there. Newhauser also in there. And Berger comes off to the sideline. I think he's shaken up just a little bit. Tracy Stewart goes in. Tracy from Terre Haute North, 5'10", 165 pounds. It is 3rd down and 7 yards to go. The ball at the North 43-yard line. Let's make it a 44. Smith goes to the right. Tremaine is to the left. And Tim Phillips is in the slot to the left as we line up in an I formation. The South with the football. Moyer looking for Smith and is knocked down by Tim Weaver of Northwood over on the far side of the field. Tim Weaver of Northwood, a defensive back, 5'10", and 170 pounds. So that makes it 4th down and about 7.
Young Weaver got himself in an excellent position again to get 6 points. May have just taken his eye off the ball a little bit.
Looking at our list here, I see Weaver is one of 7 other National Honor Society members out here this afternoon, and Jerry Roper from Marion is first in his class out of 610. Quite an honor. Mike Berger in for the South as the kick coming down at the 10 is taken by Joe Downing, where it'll be 1st and 10 now for the North. 21-3, the South leading the North here with 1 minute and 57 seconds remaining in this 3rd period. 21-yard pass from quarterback Ron Moyer to Tim Phillips for the only score in the 3rd period. A 33-yard kick and no return, 1st and 10, North football at their own 10-yard line. Here's Warmer again. Almost intercepted up at the 16-yard line by Evan Schoen of Batesville. 6'3", 218-pound linebacker. They almost had a hand on it and couldn't hold. So that makes it 2nd down and 10 for the North at their own 10-yard line. Warmer again. Picked off at the 26-yard line by Dan Corsero of Indianapolis Roncalli. Intended for Joe Downing. And the North just couldn't move at all.
Well, they're up against their own end zone there. They don't want to make a mistake, and they had some good blocking on that play. The man was just well covered, and tough break again for the North.
Ron Moyer, the quarterback, returns. Brent Renard, offensive lineman, 5'10", 215 pounds. He's back in that offensive line. Wayne Smith goes to the right. We've got Tim Phillips in the slot to the left and an I formation. Moyer looking for Smith in the end zone. Tim Weaver defending, knocked it away at the last moment, but that was the same dangerous combination that we've seen before. At 2nd down, 10 yards to go, with the ball on the North 24-yard line, between the 24 and the 25-yard line, near side of the field. Brad Prather comes to the left side after he started over to the right. Phil Tremaine is split wide right. Timmy Phillips in the slot. They go plow straight ahead with Mike Berger, Mr. Dependable, who takes it down to the 12-yard line. He's hit by Jack Norton of Blackford, defensive back, 5'11", 160 pounds, and Rob Rogeman of Mishawaka, a linebacker. Enough for the 1st down. Plenty for the 1st down.
South line opened up a gaping hole that time, Tom.
Fine blocking up front. The ball at the North 12-yard line. Again, Tim Phillips in the slot to the right as the South lines up in an I. Moyer to Berger again, who gets it down to almost the 5-yard line. Dieter Herron of Fort Wayne Snyder makes the stop on Berger. L.H. Bond comes in. Or check that, Pac Malakowski comes in.
That's the same play they've been using all afternoon, a sprint draw. Berger came off tackle. It was closed up a little bit, faked inside and bounced outside, picked up some more yardage.
Kevin Klein from Hobart is brought in for that defensive line. Bob Nordyke of Tri-County is out. Eddie Konopasek came out. There's a throw. Incomplete, just out of bounds to Phil Tremaine. Again in that right-hand corner. He likes to throw in that right-hand corner, and again Tim Weaver defending from Northwood. I think if that would have been shallower in the end zone, he might have had a little more time to react and go for it. I think he must have been thinking about that back sideline.
Yeah. Tim Weaver, again, though, was in pretty good position on the play.
23 seconds showing on the clock. Stopped with the incompletion. And 21-3 on the scoreboard, the South leading the North. Moyer. This time he gives to Mike Haley, who takes it in. He's hit by Jack Norton and also Ray Billingsley, Fort Wayne Lures. The South picks up another touchdown on a 6-yard run by Mike Maley. And that is his second touchdown, the first a 4-yard run in the second period, with 20 seconds remaining on the clock here in the third period.
I think right there, Tom, we saw this young man from Brazil High School, Mike Maley, his 4.5 speed. He really bushed through the line there. He ran for 1,280 yards, 15 TDs this past season. Harold Telephone All-State.
This is Smith with the attempt. It's up, and it's good. So the South leads now 28-3 with 20 seconds remaining in the third period. The South has capitalized on some pretty big breaks, and they've been able to contain the North. Now let's watch this run. Norton hit him just after he crossed that goal line, and he picks up his second touchdown from 6 yards out. Now let's go to Keith.
Okay, Tom, I've got Steve Dennis down here, one of the unsung people in the line that opened up a lot of the holes. Steve, how are the guys doing on opening up those holes?
Doing a real good job. We're trying to run a lot inside right now. We're getting the holes open pretty well for them to run through. It's working out real well. The last few plays when we scored a touchdown, we went up the middle, and that's where we were trying to go.
You guys don't get too much of the credit, but you're sure opening the holes today.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah, we don't take a whole lot of credit, but the backs usually tell us we did a good job most of the time, so that's usually our pay right there.
Whiteland High School, where are you going to be going to college?
Ball State University.
Good luck to you. Tom, take it upstairs.
Standing deep at the 12-yard line is Joe Downing of the North. And Phil Tremaine will kick it off for the South. 28-3, 20 seconds remaining, third period. South leading here in the third quarter. But the shadows getting longer at Memorial Stadium. He goes out of bounds, so they'll penalize him and will kick it again. Unless somebody touched it down on the field, I didn't see anybody hit it. And there was no flag thrown, so apparently someone touched it up front, and it bounced over and out of bounds. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 40-yard line. North's football. Downing in the slot to the right. Mark Snyder gets Dave Vormer behind the line of scrimmage for about a 2-yard loss. Snyder was moving pretty good, 255 pounds, 6'6", from Bedford, North Lawrence.
They had both the boys there from Bedford, North Lawrence, Chris Jones and Mark Snyder. That's a couple of tremendous bookends they have in there.
So there's the end of the third period. The South 28, the North 3. Here at IU's Memorial Stadium, Tom Higgins along with Coach Ivan Zimmer of Andrean High School. Of course, a very good reminder that the proceeds of all today's activities go to Camp Riley for physically handicapped children. A great cause, a cause being pursued by some fine young men who are physically able and capable. As you mentioned at the start of the program, Ivan, 1 out of 500 selected for this game statistically, and it's quite an honor to be here, and even more so an honor to play for such an important group of youngsters as those at Camp Riley.
Well, you're correct, Tom. We're seeing a super game, super plays from a bunch of super players. And of course, right now the South's up on top 28-3 on some big plays. The North has got to get out of the wishbone, even the broken bone, and spread their formation here, being back behind 25 points.
Dave Vormer, the quarterback. It is complete up at the 47-yard line for the first down. And it is taken by Roy Swope. Corsero on the stop from Roncalli High School. Enough for the first down for the North.
He had some nice protection. Swope's running that down and in pattern, and it's been very successful for him as far as being open.
Former again with the wishbone from the 47-yard line. Jerry Roper going straight ahead. Evan Schoen of Batesville, the linebacker, making the tackle. And that makes it second down and 1. 9 yards on the play.